another video on the strawberry jam. Kind of a follow-up video, not a proper video. Just a kind of experiment to something that I've got in my head. So I've got lots of this jam now that I've been making, and it's kind of taking over. There's too much of it in the cupboard. Well, I've kept it in the fridge. But I'm like, what am I going to do with it all? And I think it could probably take up less space than it does. So I was thinking, can we? I mean, some of it. I've had a bit of this with yogurt today, and it was very nice. If I'm honest, it was really nice. So I can't remember which batch this was, but it was really nice. The strawberries were kind of quite whole. The sauce just needed to be probably about right, actually. From the one I remember when I was out, that was kind of quite nice. So I've kind of had a few ideas about what I want to try with next, but I don't want to kind of. It's just too much jam for me to eat and to kind of do something with. So what I thought we'll do is we will pour off some of the juice from this jam, and we will reduce the juice, and then kind of see what happens. I'm thinking, I'm kind of got an idea. I think I need to get the idea of it being a jam out of my head, and treating it like a jam is the wrong thing to do. So I kind of think if I treat it, well, I can't tell you what I'm going to be doing because that'll be the next video. But in this video, I just kind of think, see, there's not that much fruit in there. So my thoughts are that I will take the juice out of the jars. We will boil up the juice, thicken it. It'll reduce, it'll thicken, and then we will add the strawberries back to it. I'm gonna add the strawberries back to it. I'll end up sealing some of the jars in a roundabout kind of way by another faffing method, but I just kind of want to kind of see about. I'm just faffing, you know. If the jam was as thick as that, I'd be happy. It's just not. It's watery like that. If that makes that's. I'd like it to be as thick as that, but it's not. It's that. So I'm going to take all the juice from all the jars. I'm waffling. I'm going to take all the juice from all the jars and put it in there. I'm going to thicken that up, and then we're going to add it back to the strawberries. So it won't get particularly high yield, but it will make it a little bit more useful. And then I might be a little bit happy about giving it away to people, giving it away to friends, and that type of thing. So we'll kind of see. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll pause, and I'll come back when I'm boiling it up. Actually, I'm not going to pause it. I'm going to stop it. I might go off and do something else. The juice now has reduced and thickened up, as you can see. I've let it cool slightly. It's still warm, but as you can see from that, by the time that's cool, that'll set quite solid, I think. So I'm not that bothered about preserving these in the kind of conventional jam sense. So I think what I'll do is just put the strawberries in the jar, and then a little bit of juice, and then some more strawberries, and then a little bit more juice. Give it a shake on the way as I load it up. It is a faff, is this? You know, I'm not suggesting that this is anything that anyone's going to kind of want to do, but it's for my own curiosity. So strawberries, and then a bit of juice, and then strawberries, and then a bit of juice, that type of thing. So we're kind of layering up. I suppose you could just. I don't want to put the strawberries in all that juice, so I don't want to heat them up, which would be the other way to do it. But I want to make sure that there's lots of strawberries and a little bit of juice. So like a completely impractical way of doing something this. Yeah. Give that a bit of a shake to get rid of any air pockets. There's already some air pockets, of course there is. So more strawberries. bit more juice, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. I suppose if I had a jug I could just pour a bit of the sauce in. I've also got cables everywhere, phones needing charging, all that kind of stuff, so a little bit. Give it a shake. It's kind of looking what I want it to look like. Maybe a little bit more juice on top. I'm using the jars that I've taken the jam out of. I'm not bothered about sterilising them. This is not about something that's going to keep in the fridge or in the cupboard for months and months and months. This is just another experiment to see where this is going. I mean, it's a lot. To make this amount of jam, it's used a hell of a lot of strawberries. So kind of cost effective wise, completely pointless. Completely pointless. But aesthetically, I think it'd be interesting. So a little bit more juice. Like that. Put the lid on. It's making a mess. I'm making a mess, aren't I? It's just sticky jam. It's a nice colour though, eh? Look at that for colour. We'll see how it sets up. But this might just be everything I do, you kind of learn a little bit more. Even if I go wrong, there's always something that you learn from it. So I'll put that on there. Give that a proper shake. Get rid of any air pockets coming to the top. That looks good, does that? So do we need a bit more? Need a bit more jelly in the top. I've got an idea for preserving this actually, but one jar, maybe we'll do all the jars. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe just do a couple of jars. That looks good, doesn't it? Look at that. Doesn't that look special? With all those big strawberries. That looks kind of special, was that? But anyway, that's kind of what I was aiming for. But we'll see. So I'll put the rest of the jam in the jar. That's not going to seal properly. But we might do something else. Maybe use some smaller jars. I don't want to put it in big jars. I'm going to give it away. Put it in smaller jars. We'll see how we go. Yeah. We'll put it in some smaller jars, and we'll see how we go. But I'll fill some more jars up. Same kind of method, faffing around, and then we'll kind of see how it is in the. I'm going to put it in some. Well, you'll see in the next bit. I'm going to put it in a pan of water and bring it up to the boil and slowly kind of heat it and then kind of preserve it that way. Rather than making like a proper jam where you pour it, a hot jam into a hot jar and then it kind of seals and preserves that way. I'm going to do a slightly different way of preserving, just so I'm not left with a jar that's wanting to go off in the fridge. But that'll be the next bit of the video. But anyway, I'll carry on faffing and getting all sticky, and then we're back at the next stage. I have preserved the jam in a pan of boiling water. Well, what you do is you put the jars in a pan of cold water and then bring slowly up to the boil and then simmer slowly for half an hour or so, depending on the size of the jar. You need to do it slowly because you don't want to kind of, if the jars are cold and have cold ingredients in them, the temperature change can make the jars explode. So you just got to be a little bit careful. So that's just a way of preserving. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done all the jars. I should have kept one jar without doing it, because I think what will happen is the strawberries will shrink again, which is not what I wanted. I wanted the strawberries to keep their kind of size and shape. So they've already started to want to float to the top of the jar. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I've been swimming and I've had a think. You can tell, and you can tell when they're ready as well, because the tops of the jars are kind of bulbous, which means that they are hot enough inside and and they will they'll seal properly. But we'll see tomorrow when I open one of them. I've been swimming, and I was thinking while I was swimming, and I've pretty much decided what I need to do to get them to be exactly how I want. I said that was alright, isn't it? The fruit looks like it's dispersed all the way through, but we'll kind of see. We'll kind of see tomorrow. Yeah, I've kind of decided what I need to do to make it be the way I want it to be. I just need to have another go and buy some strawberries. Well, I've got two things I want to do, but we'll see what it's like tomorrow morning. Oh, there's a cable all the way over. That was from my phone, charging my phone. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm not sorry. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Let's have a look. So, it's thicker than it was. No, it's not. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it. Oh, okay. That's more how I want it to be. Yeah, okay. That's how I want it to be. We'll just cut into that. See if it's good, jammified. That's alright, isn't it? Can you see ish? What does it taste like? Well, that's a bit special. So, I'm not entirely happy with the aesthetics of it. So, the strawberries have risen to the top again, even though I did turn them upside down for a bit. So I kind of want them to interdisperse all the way through. I don't think I'm ever going to get that happening, because I think how can I explain this to myself and make it sound simple? So whenever you're pickling or jamming things, it's a sealed environment. So everything kind of wants to get to the same. This is difficult to explain. I can only think about when you're pickling an egg. When you put the vinegar, put an egg in vinegar. Eventually, what happens over time, the egg soaks up the vinegar and pickles itself. Well, it doesn't pickle itself, because it's not it's not consciousness, but it soaks in vinegar, and what happens is the egg becomes more acid, which pickles it, and the vinegar around the egg becomes less acid because the egg has taken some of that acid away. And so it's kind of the same with jam. So those strawberries, the liquid, the jelly, the jam, is sweeter than the strawberries. So the strawberries have sucked in some of that sugar from the jelly and expelled some of their liquid into the jam. So the jam would have been, no, it's not that thick. Oh, okay. So this is just the jelly that was just left over. So that's a lot thicker. This is just the pure. There's no strawberries in this. So this is a lot thicker than that. It probably could have benefited from some pectin in it, actually, rather than just reducing it down. So we've learnt that as well. So that was a useful thing to kind of do. So, but the strawberries have expelled some of their liquid, and therefore taken on some of the sweetness of the jam, even though it's all jam, but the jammy liquid, and the liquid has lost some of its sweetness and gained some liquid, so it's just not as set. It probably could have benefited from some pectin in it, but still, we're on the right track. We're on the right track, and I kind of Oh, that's nice, is that? That's a nice consistency. It tastes really nice. That's really nice, is that? That is delicious. Yes, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. It's not. That works. That works. I don't think. I think if I was to if I was to give that to a gift to someone, they would kind of say thank you out of politeness, and then kind of go. But if they try, and you know, sometimes when you get gifts, you just kind of go, oh, thank you, that's lovely, thank you for that gift, and then that gift lives in the cupboard, and then you give it to someone else and get rid of it out of politeness. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to tell someone if they've made something that it's a load of rubbish and you don't want it, because that's rude. But you what we call it. But that generally not what happens. But if they actually tasted it, they kind of go, oh, that's a nice bit of jam with whole strawberries in. That's delicious, and they would forgive the fact that it was a little bit liquid. But anyway, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I know what the next experiment's going to be. I've got 2 more things I want to do with it. But that's the next step. But we'll kind of see. But I don't know if the more I try, and the experiment I want to find out is the more I thicken up the jelly part of that, will it just want to suck out more liquid from the strawberries and shrink the strawberries down and kind of let the jammy liquid down so it never gets thicker until we get to the point where the strawberries are completely smashed to bits and there's nothing left of those, and that's the only time it's going to set. But anyway, there we go. And I don't want to set it with a gelling agent or a gelatin or anything like that. That's not what I want to do. I want to. This is kind of what I want to do. Well, that kind of want to work, wouldn't it? That's another thing to try. Well, we can have a go, and we can set it with gelatin or agar-agar or something like that. That's probably something further down the line. I think this is the way to go. But anyway, that's that. I'm waffling. Yes, done.